In this video, I am going to show you how to create a class notebook. So right now I am logged into my Office 365 account, and this is free for educators if you have a school account with your district. And so I am logged in here to my portal, and for our teachers here at Eagle Mountain, Saginaw Independent School District, we actually have two tenants. So in order for teachers to create a notebook to use with their students, they actually have to log into their student account. So we encourage you to either use a separate browser or open an incognito window. So to do that, I am in Chrome right now, and in the top right hand corner there are three dots, and if I click those three dots I can open up a new incognito window. Now the benefit of this is it's not going to confuse your accounts, so that I can still be logged into my work account and then I can also be logged into my student account. So you can see down at the bottom I can kind of toggle back and forth between both. Some people might choose to use Firefox or Edge or a different browser altogether. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign into my Office 365, but in this case I'm going to use my student account. So my student account is just my username at student.ems-isd.net. Then my password does need to be reset. If you do not know your password and you are with EMS ISD, go ahead and contact your campus ITS and we can reset that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get signed in to my student account. Now one thing you will notice in the student account is that it is green on top. So let me show you the difference here. This one is my work account, it's blue, and this one is my student account, it's green. So that's one way that you can always tell which one you are in. And you can also see that I have an avatar set up for my profile here, so that's another way that I can determine the difference. So then I'm going to go ahead and click on Class Notebook. So for Class Notebook, I have these options here, and you're going to come back to this frequently for managing your notebook or adding or removing teachers or students. But to create, we're just going to click Create a Class Notebook. Now this is when you want to go ahead and name your notebook and think carefully about your name. Sometimes we tend to put dates out there, but if this is a notebook you're going to use frequently or year after year, I would suggest not using a date. That way you can just go and remove the students or the staff members if this is a staff notebook. So it just kind of depends on the preference and what you're using the notebook for. But for my example, I'm just going to call this second period. And then once I have my name, I'm going to click Next. This just kind of gives you an overview of the three different sections that are going to be in your notebook. You will have a collaboration space, a content library, and then the individual student notebooks. You can read through that a little bit more if you'd like, and then click Next. This is where you have the option to give other teachers permission to use this notebook. So if you co-teach, or let's say you wanted your administrator to have access to this notebook, or if this is a staff notebook and you're using this as the administration, and you want your secretaries or some other people that might have edit rights to the notebook, this is where you would give them access by putting in their names here. So I'm going to type in, if I can type, someone's name. So this would be Celi's name, and she's going to be a teacher in my notebook. So then I hit Next. Now this is where I'm adding students. So this kind of depends if you have a list of your students in the right format. They do have to be separated by a semicolon. You can paste them in here. Otherwise, it might just take you 5 or 10 minutes to type in the names. Once I have all of my students typed in, then I can just hit Next. So again, the process is typing in the name, letting it pop up, and then once the name pops up, then you can just hit Next when you have all of your students. In this place here, you can design student sections. So if you do not want handouts or class notes, you can simply uncheck them, and then you can even add more. So if I wanted one to be, tests, then I can add that. If I wanted one to be group work, then you can add whatever sections you want. Now you can add sections later If you decide, that I wish I would have added this section, you can add it later and then distribute it out to your student notebooks if you choose. So once you have your sections the way that you would like, simply click Next. And then this is just going to kind of give you an overview of what the teacher notebook is going to look like. So you can see my students, the collaboration space, the content library. This is what it will look like. If I click on student notebook, this is what the students will see. They will see the collaboration space, the content library, and then their individual notebook with their sections. So that's the difference between the teacher view and the student view. If that looks okay, click Create. And then this is going to take a minute or two depending on how many students you added, and it will go ahead and set up the notebook for you. Alright, when the notebook is done setting up, it will say your notebook is ready. So this right here is the place where you can open it online, or you can go ahead and open it in the application. So if you click Open in OneNote, then it's going to open it, it's going to ask you, whatever your default is, do I want to open it in 2016, or do I want to go ahead and open it in the app?